Remove. Oh wait, we're actually. Oh.
Alright, can anybody say hi to YouTube?
Oh, YouTube. Hello, y'all. No, wait, no.
If you need a message family and you want them to join, my YouTube is Tony Starks 4504. It's my school one. Tony Starks 4504. You can send an email really quick.
I found your Instagram. And I don't know who's watching them. I probably know.
Alright, everybody got it?
Tony Stark.
4504. Tony Starks 4504. Tony Starks 4504.
Tony Stark 4504.
Guys, I'm on YouTube.
All right. The Superior Court of Great Kentucky County Affairs Department 209, the Honorable Judge Stark presiding, is now in session.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our trial. We're here today to determine the guilt of the Mongols. The trial will work like this. I've already instructed the jury. There are two charges on which the Mongols are being charged: barbaric conquest and ineffective administration of their empire. We're here today from the prosecution and the defense on this trial. We begin first with our opening arguments. The prosecution will go first with their opening arguments, followed by the defense. At the conclusion of the opening arguments, we'll move into the prosecution's witnesses. They will call all of their witnesses to the stand. One at a time, they'll direct examine the witness, and the defense will cross-examine the witness. Prosecution will have the opportunity to redirect at the conclusion of each witness before that witness steps down. Once the prosecution has exhausted all of their witnesses, then we'll move to the defense. Same thing, we'll repeat that process. At the conclusion of the defense's witnesses, we'll move into our closing arguments. Again, prosecution, you'll go first with your closing arguments. Defense, you will conclude with your closing arguments. At the conclusion of that, the jury will step outside and we will discuss and deliberate to ultimately determine if the Mongols are guilty of these crimes. The prosecution has the burden of proof. They must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the Mongols are guilty of these charges. Remember, the Mongols are seen as innocent until proven guilty. I will also remind everybody that there are 4 awards that the jury will be selecting. We will select the Best Attorney Award, the Best Witness Award, the Best Costume or Outfit, and the Best Moments Award. We'll award all of those at the conclusion of the trial. At this time, is there anything I'm forgetting? Okay, it's the 3rd time I've done it, so I apologize. If I go too fast, please say something. The last thing I will say is, let's have fun. Take a deep breath. You guys are going to do an incredible job. I will note to the attorneys, your job is very difficult. It's challenging, but you guys can do incredible things. Witnesses, please help your attorneys, if at all. And then if you need a moment, just please let me know. Say, Starks, can we have 1 minute? And I can give us a 1-minute recess to allow us to gather our thoughts. Okay? Yes, sir. All right. With that in mind, prosecution, are you prepared to offer your opening arguments? Yes. All right. You may proceed. If you'll please, if you'll please step up into the gallery so you can address the jury.
I am Paul Mishba, and today I stand before you to give the opening remarks for the claim. Humans have the natural urge to dominate, to conquer. Sometimes, however, we tend to get ahead of ourselves and stumble. We can see this more than ever in the Mongols. According to Pope Innocent IV, the Mongols demanded Europe's admission to them to rule as a worldwide empire. This, perhaps, is the reason why the Mongols became so barbaric, forgetting their own people and their greed to conquer overtook all war. Let's get to the point. We attorneys of the plaintiff believe the Mongols should be found guilty of barbaric warfare and ineffective administration as repercussions of their actions in battle and to their own people. The Mongols are violent and barbaric in warfare. Al-Muqtasim, the last caliph of Baghdad, will testify that the Mongols were very violent in battle. They used cruel and unorthodox punishments and execution. Al-Muqtasim, the leader of Baghdad and the victim of the 1258 sack of Baghdad, has personally seen his people slaughtered and hundreds of years of Islamic literary documents thrown into the fire. This wasn't the first time the Mongols played on invasion. During the attack of the Khwarezm Empire, Persian scholar Atta Malik Jubani said around 50,000 Mongol soldiers each were ordered to kill 24 people in the city of Gurgan. The Mongol administration, being the already large empire that they are, seems to prioritize gaining land and power over their people. This is another example of how humans stumble and get fed. The large land of the Mongols could not be protected from all sides, and their large land also puts their people, also makes their people see each other as foreigners or aliens instead of one united empire. Ladies and gentlemen, after all that has been said, we believe the defendant is guilty of barbaric warfare and ineffective administration. We, as attorneys of the plaintiff, believe our clients should receive justice. Thank you very much.
By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it to the witnesses, but there is a trial analysis document that has been posted, so that is your guys' assignment as you're working through the trial. Jury, I believe I mentioned that to you in the hallway. Obviously, attorneys, you do not have any assignment to work on during as you're working on the trial. I'll move to the defense. Are you prepared to offer your opening arguments? You may proceed.
Yes, sir.
You may.
Hello, I'm Morgan Miller, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm here to tell you why the Mongols are not guilty of all charges, including barbaric acts and ineffective administration over their empire. In court, the thing we punish is criminal intention, the mens rea, the guilty mind. The act does not create guilt unless the mind is also guilty. This quote was said by William Landay, a noted scholar. Here the question is not whether the Mongols killed people in war. Here the question is not even whether they punished them. Those are given facts. The only question before you here today is their intent. Was their intent to be barbaric, or was it to win a war? It can only be one or the other, and if it was to win a war, then there is no crime because there is no intent. Let me remind you of the fundamental principle underlying our system of justice is that a man cannot be found guilty of a crime if there is even a shadow of reasonable doubt. Since their intent was to win wars and conquer land, you must find them not guilty because the concept of reasonable doubt is the cornerstone to a fair justice system, and without it, then you are no different than the Mongols themselves. If you think about the Roman Empire, then the first thing that might come to most people's minds is one of the greatest empires in the world. The Roman Empire has shaped our modern world. Even after it has fallen, we still see evidence of what the Romans did in the past today. Some examples of this are our art, architecture, technology, literature, language, and law. The Roman Empire was also known because of their military. The military were trained to kill expertly with the weapons they were given and to fight with precise formations. The Romans would also almost follow orders, and whoever didn't would face punishments like decimation, where every 10th man is executed. This punishment was not used all the time. It was only used for serious crimes like mutiny and desertion. So why are we not criticizing them for using brutal punishments? The Roman Empire is very similar to the Mongol Empire, and some might be wondering how that can ever be possible, because most people in history talk about how the Roman Empire is so great and how it changed history for the better.
while the Mongols are wrongly perceived to be the opposite. The main thing the Mongols are known for is being barbaric and changing history for the worse, when in reality the Roman Empire and the Mongols are very similar. The only difference is that people only see the Mongols as being barbaric, and that is the only thing they look for, more formally known as confirmation bias. Instead of all the good stuff they have done, because that was people's first impression, and might I say incorrect, of the Mongols, and it is hard to change someone's first, but that is what we will be aiming to do today. One point that we are going to talk about is that every war is violent. Every war is aggressive in some kind of way. For example, the American Revolutionary War changed our future for the better. It did things like create American national identity, and it was also very violent. Yet no one calls the U.S. or British barbaric. In this trial, the defense side will prove that the Mongols were far from barbaric. People saying the Mongols were brutal for no reason, but in reality, everything the Mongols did was intended to win a war and take over the land. Every battle they faced, every war they fought in, was for the good of the Mongols. For example, we will talk to Genghis Khan himself, who will explain how advanced his military tactics, use of religion, and bureaucracy to successfully govern his people and his empire. The Mongols would automatically be judged as barbaric because they would win most of the wars they fought in because of their advanced military weapons and strategies. Being advanced, powerful, and strict does not equate to being barbaric. Secondly, we will prove that the Mongols were the complete opposite of ineffective, and their intent was to win wars, and they did so effectively. Now the prosecution will try and distract you with images of violence and stories of heinous acts committed by the Mongols. But don't be fooled. While the prosecution focuses on the actions, you must focus on the intent. Because the intent is where reasonable doubt lives, and the truth about the Mongols' intent will come out in this trial. The truth is like oil. You can shake it together with vinegar and try to hide it and conceal it, but it will always rise to the top. And when it does, you will find my client not guilty because their intent was as clear as their actions, and their intent was unapologetically to win wars. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Take a second to discuss jury opening arguments. What are your thoughts? You guys can begin preparing for our first witness. Ready? All right. We'll move into the prosecution's witnesses. Prosecution, are you prepared to call your first witness?
We are calling co-innocent before position.
Ay, Dios mío. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
No. Prosecution, you may proceed.
Do you want me to stand up on the
Yes, yes, please come forward.
Before I proceed, I would like to tell you that you have the right to not answer any questions and remain silent. Please state your name and please state your name.
I am so innocent before Europe. I am known as the head of Catholic Church and I have friendships with the Mongol Empire.
What was your relationship and views with the Mongols? Did you see them as a threat to Christianity?
Yes, I do view them with concern and fear and as a threat to humanity. However, I used to think that there was a possibility to negotiate with them by spreading our beliefs, but that was not able to work from my experience.
What actions did
Yes,
you
go ahead. What?
Objection, Your
Yeah.
Honor. Lack of foundation.
Yeah, explain.
So you just went right into asking the questions, and we didn't get any background information about who this is or what they're.
Can you provide a little bit more foundation for the jury?
Could you give us more information about your relationship with the Mongols?
The Mongols are barbaric people and they're trying to rule as a worldwide empire. I'm trying to stop that from happening by negotiating with them and stopping their conflict.
Objection, Your Honor. Non-responsive. That's not your relationship with the Mongols or your views. That was just your opinion.
Chance to respond?
Give me again?
You want it?
Yeah.
And I think you can respond and say, no, I'm trying to establish the foundation that we just sought. So that way we can gain a deeper understanding of the relationship between the two.
Okay.
Is that kind of where you're going with that?
Yeah, but can we,
Yeah, let's take 1 minute.
Hey, hey! Okay. I feel like we had never their cousins. They're like sick. They thought the novel I know.
Yeah, I was thinking it was I don't care. That's the only reason why overall, I think my
All right. And again, the first one is always the hardest. You guys are already doing an incredible job, so already very impressed. Any attorney can object, and then if you object, like I've asked, just kind of elaborate on why you're objecting, and then the other side can kind of respond, and then I will render the decision of whether I sustain the objection or override the objection. All right, Attorney Mishbaugh, you may continue.
I would like to ask you a question. What exactly does the Pope do?
I want to spread my views of Christianity Catholic Christianity to the people of Europe and make sure that we are all united as a Christian religious empire, not empire, but country.
So do you think of yourself as a leader or like a head of government?
I view myself as a leader of spreading Christianity because I want to make sure that my views are seen with my people, and I just want to make sure that everyone is able to believe what they want to believe.
Okay, did you try to spread your views from Europe to the Mongols?
Yes, I sent Giovanni the PM the copy in order to speak and negotiate with the Mongols. When we have told them about our views and to spread Christianity, they had ignored our intentions and wanted to rule as a worldwide empire.
Yeah, and just object for narrative if you would, please.
Objection, narrative.
Okay, thank you. So all I want is just make sure to answer the question that I asked, and then you can always ask for elaboration or say, could you tell me more about that, or then what happened, as opposed to a monologue.
So you sent somebody to the Mongols to sort of negotiate them into Christianity?
Yes.
How did that work out?
What I had sent them, the Mongols ignored his views and our views of Europe as a whole and wanted to be seen as a worldwide empire all across the world.
When they said that, did you feel as if they were a threat? Did you feel as if they were threatening you?
Yes, they are threatening not only to Europe but as to the whole world because of their intentions to rule the whole world as one empire.
No further questions, John.
Thank you. Chance to cross-examine the witness.
Okay. So who are you?
We hope innocent before with Europe, and I rule as head of Catholic Church in order to spread my beliefs of Christianity.
You're gonna object. You're gonna object. Real quick, just object.
Objection.
Yeah, narrative.
Narrative.
Yeah, just answer the question. That is it. No. Yeah, he answered it, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I just felt like you were providing elaboration, right? And if we need elaboration, the attorneys can. Is that fair?
So you were the leader of the Catholic.
Yes.
So does this mean you wanted to encourage others to be Catholic as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you wanted to convert the Mongols to Catholic.
Catholicism.
You wanted to convert the Mongols into Catholic.
Yes.
So even though they had already been religiously tolerant. Object.
Yeah.
Well, like, what if I don't think that
Stand up.
the point is to correct them? They were religious,
Sure.
but they had their own religion, but they were religious. But they had they had many religions.
That's me. All right, so you're objecting to the validity of their point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Doesn't mean that they can't be missionaries.
I would say you're probably objecting to a lack of foundation. This has not been established that the Mongols were religious and tolerant. Correct?
But then they also, it is a known fact that they had many religions and that they weren't punishing them for having other religions.
But you would need to establish that. Does that make sense? Okay? So we just need to establish that foundation if you're going to assert that the Mongols were religiously tolerant. Is that fair? Okay. Sustain. Do you want to establish foundation with that, or do you want to move on?
Other ones. So knowing this, like knowing that.
Did you want to talk? Did you guys need to talk for a second?
Yes.
All right, take 1 minute. Ready?
Okay, so all I have for cultivation, European doesn't like the Mongols and spread Christianity around. Somebody at the door. Really, I feel like I'm already experienced. What? He's a good couple. All I have is. Yeah, I've been writing up what's the music. Yeah. So overall, I think that so what you're trying to say could be considered.
Don't be afraid, don't be afraid.
They're saying that when they said a missionary convert them to Christianity and they rejected and they rejected that. So they sent a missionary of people. And when the Mongols refused, they now claim that the Mongols are now to say that they are, rejecting all faith in zero power and that's a discussion.
Don't answer any more than the
Can I call capitalism? He's literally the highest point in Catholic civilization. He's barely, he's
Oh my God, I just took it. Oh my God. Abroad. Hi guys, my sister.
Wait, are we gonna?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
Email me if you still on there. I hope you have a good day. So when you send that to the
I appreciate you guys' patience. I just felt like that was an important point, and so I just worked with both sides. I'm going to bring up Attorney Mishba really quick to address a couple more questions, and then we'll return back to Attorney Nagaoka, and then we can work through that. Okay? So, Attorney Mishba, if you'll please come forward. Now, go ahead and speak to. You're going to request something, I believe. We would like to request to submit evidence.
We would like to request to submit evidence.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the jury and obviously witnesses and attorneys, you guys can pull this up as well. So on the Mongols overview assignments, or not assignments, excuse me, the documents that I posted with all the links, okay? If you scroll down and you go to trial evidence. All right, so open up the trial evidence, and if you scroll to the very last page, it should be page 22, I believe. You want me to read this whole paragraph? Is this what you want to read the whole paragraph? We're starting here. Where?
Starting from, right here.
Okay, now? Okay. All right, were you guys all want to go find this?
Yes.
So again, page 22, it is the second to last paragraph. Okay. We will take a 3-minute recess. Great! Get up, move around, use your restroom, use drink. Get up and move.
Can I go get something from my locker? Oh, you guys did stealing!
We've only got our first witness. We get done with Lady, can you close that door for me? All right, we return back. Again, first witness, we're just trying to figure out all the little details and nuances. This is fantastic. You guys are all doing a great job. We're going to return back to Attorney Mishpa, if you'll proceed with your questioning of the witness. So you were submitting Exhibit A, and we've got it pulled up. Jurors, if you all have it pulled up, okay, you may proceed.
Your Holiness, could you please read the evidence?
To the power of the eternal heaven, all lands have been given to us from sunrise to sunset. How could anyone act other than in accordance with the commands of heaven? Now your own upright heart must tell you, we will become subject to you, and will place our powers at your disposal. You one person at the head of monarchs, all of you, without exception, must come to tender us service and pay us homage. Then only will we recognize your submission. But if you do not obey the commands of heaven, and run counter to our orders, you shall know that you are our foe.
Okay, so, based on what you just said, could you explain what this document was? What this is?
Seems to be the Mongols trying to submit to them, or we will be there for.
So could you explain a little bit more in detail of what it was, what the document was asking you to do?
The Mongols were trying to ask us if we would submit to them at Europe would submit to them, and they wanted us to give us service, or wanted us to give them service and pay their homies. But if we didn't submit to them, then we will become their foe.
So do you see this as a threat to Europe and Europe?
Yes, I see this as a threat.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. We will return to our cross-examination. Again, a little back and forth. I apologize, but Attorney Nagoka, you may continue with your question.
Just to establish who are you?
I have something before.
So were you the leader of the Catholic Church?
Yes,
Okay, so this means you want to encourage everybody to be Catholic.
yes,
Okay. So you also wanted to convert the monks to Catholicism.
yes.
Could you submit evidence?
Yes. Okay. So on that same trial evidence document, if you guys will scroll up, you need to go to 7.4. Did you guys say that evidence is you?
Yeah.
All right. So again, that is technically on page 8. Jurors, have you all been able to find that?
Yes.
Okay. So evidence you, page 8. You may proceed.
Mongol Khan stated, or is that Mong?
Monkacon.
Okay, Mong Khan stated, we Mongols believe that there is but one God, by whom we live and by whom we die, and towards him we have an record. But just as God gave different fingers to the hand, so has he given different fingers to the men.
So this would mean that they were religious followers.
Yes, seems so.
Did you know this previously?
No, I did not know this previously.
That's fine. That's fine. Right? Yeah, here's the
Even though they've already been religious tolerant, still want to hear them.
Yes,
Okay. And then knowing, you knew that this would cause, you knew that this would cause them to be, this might cause them not to be peaceful and the result of war.
I was only trying to spread the good faith in a peaceful manner, is what I was trying to do.
But you've seen other civilizations maybe like have everybody convert to one religion, and this would cause inconveniences and problems in their empires. Objection to like, I forget what it's called, but you try to influence
yeah, and I feel like she's asking for speculation too of like other civilizations. Yeah.
He's not objection narrative. He's not answering our questions head on. He's kind of going around the points, and he's trying to make himself look better. Which the point is that he's avoiding the point that we're trying to make. Which if I make.
Just respond to that.
Well, he can still be. Yeah. Also, he might not have enough evidence to say. We might not be able to answer all the questions before that there are a lot more about speculation. We also do not require to answer every single question. But if he answers, then he's still supposed to answer the question that's given, not his own question. He should answer to the question. He can't make it a different version of the question. Well, what is it?
Okay. I feel like the last question was speculative, so I will sustain that objection. Objection noted. Please answer the questions as stated. If you feel that he is being non-responsive in the moment, then object and we can redirect him as necessary. Okay. You may proceed.
Okay, so summarizing all that, you basically were trying to convert them all into Catholicism while they were religious.
yes,
Okay. So, were you scared / afraid that Europe and Christian faith were invaded?
yes,
Okay, so is it true that you sent the first letter to the colony? And so in that letter you told the Mongols that you wanted peace, correct?
yes,
Okay, so do you know if you did any research about the Mongolian language or what you were sending out to them before you sent the letters?
no.
Okay, so, did you or did you not know that in the Mongolian language, peace means to submit or to surrender to somebody?
I did not know that.
So were you not knowledgeable on the fact that what you were sending out to them was not directly what you meant?
Objection.
Yeah.
Like, proof of when we challenge the proof of what they're saying. How do we know that they were communicating in Mongolian? Do you have proof that they're communicating in Mongolian? Or maybe they're communicating in another language that would be used.
Objection relevant? Why?
There is relevance. She's asking if he knows Mongolian properly. What if it doesn't matter?
It does because in Mongolian, peace means to submit or to surrender.
I know, but how do you know that he wrote the letter in Mongolian? How do you know they weren't using another language?
He didn't because he wrote it in the language he knows, so then it translated it then into Mongolian. But he didn't research enough to find out that peace meant
Yeah. Address me, by the way. Address me.
to submit or surrender.
But the word translation, if you were saying Mongolian means something different, what he's saying in his language translated would be the same words. Maybe the word isn't peace. Maybe if he's saying peace in English, it's a different word. What he's trying to get across in English is a different word in Mongolian. How do you know he's using the word? How do you know the translation is peace?
And then
Yeah. I still think the point is still valid in that the language is lost in translation. The wording is lost in translation. So then I assume that you're trying to make the point that he needed to be aware of the language that he was using when addressing the Mongols. And while you are arguing that he had no way of knowing that it would be mistranslated.
Yeah, because it should be translated properly.
Alright, so I'll let the jury kind of make their own conclusions about that information. Okay? You may proceed.
So, wait, can I say? Okay, so are you saying that you didn't take the time to, precisely research what you were going to say and, know exactly what you were going to say to the Mongols and how it was going to, come across to them?
Who can you like to answer that question?
Wait, what, sorry?
Like, I'm saying I did not have the research.
So you had a careless mistake, and this is what caused the Mongols to think that you guys weren't to surrender. But then, you guys didn't surrender properly, so that then they sent that letter.
Trying to sway the witness.
Yeah, sustained.
And,
Any further questions?
no further questions.
Alright, chance to redirect. To remind you, in a redirect, you can only ask clarifying questions about information that's already been brought up.
So you are Pope Innocent the Fourth of the Catholic Church.
Yes, I
You have said that your only point was to just spread peace and by your own religion, which you believe peace would be in Catholicism. Is that true?
yes.
Were you ever challenging the Mongols to doing anything? Is it true that you were only just asking the Mongols if they thought about becoming Catholic, not trying to engage in war? Is that true?
Can you restate that question?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, was it true that you were only offering the Mongols an option to be Catholic? You weren't forcing it upon them?
Yes.
Is it true that you might have
Last
not?
question.
Okay, that's no further.
Okay. Alright, and then you guys will ask, may the witness please step down.
May the witness please sit down.
You may step down. Alright, take a minute to talk with your shoulder partner what you learned from Pope. Ready?
Oh, the Catholic God
Alright, will the prosecution please call your next witness?
I call for the stand to
seems like a white hand. Yeah, well, to tell the truth and nothing. You must tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
All right, prosecution, you may proceed.
So, just to clarify, who are you?
I am literally Kentucky Sultan of Egypt and the Mongols.
Okay, what's your relationship with the Mongols?
I fought them in the Battle of the Injalu in 1260 CE, as well as other conflicts such as the Second Death.
Okay, what was the result of that battle of Angels?
We halted the Mongols' advance into Egypt and Mongols territory.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're was there anything else that occurred during the conflict with the Mongols?
Yes, they have plundered the rich city of Baghdad.
Please elaborate.
Cities with much definition and treasure.
Okay, how do you describe the effects of the attack of Baghdad?
They killed.
Object, we may need to take a moment, but object really quick.
Objection.
Yeah. So don't, objection speculation, he was not at the sack of Baghdad. He would have no knowledge of this. Am I crazy? He was not at the sack of Baghdad.
He probably could see the outside view, but he could not see what was actually happening because he was not there. The truth is that.
Do you want to ask, like, what things had you heard about the sack of Baghdad, I guess? Still, that'd be
That would be rumors.
yeah, that'd be
You
hearsay.
can't tell.
Yeah, correct.
Not credible information.
Yeah. That information will come up with all those disseminators, I think. So I think we should be okay. Yeah. I don't think you'd be a credible source on the sack of Baghdad. Do you need a minute? Yeah. Hey!
Okay, so far, he's not very. So maybe what is your thoughts on speculation? I just say you're perfect. What is the live streaming on? Yeah, we live in like an hour and 15 minutes.
Right? All right. We'll return to our questioning. Thank you.
Your Honor, if you'd like to submit, document 4.
So the jury will all open up this document on the evidence, by the way, it's at the very top, it's just the in-class evidence. We'll open that up. So again, evidence document, the in-class evidence, and then document 4, I believe, is on page 9, maybe?
Wait.
Yes, page 9. So trial evidence, click on the in-class documents, and then document 4 is on page 9. Okay, you may proceed.
Can you describe what document 4 says before?
Really quick, establish quick foundation.
Where were you born?
Where Rasmian Empire. Okay, thank you. Continue. Okay.
So you were from there, right? Alright, can you read to the court what document 4 says?
Well, so ask him specifically, so in Bukhara, for example, how many?
In Bukhara, how many were born today? About in Samarkand. About where? What about before?
Louder.
1,747,000.
So,
You technically have one more if you want.
wait, and what about Iraq?
There were 1,600,000.
Okay. So, putting all of these into consideration, how
Take a deep breath. What are you trying to get across? I got you. So this shows what? Ask him, what does this show?
This shows.
No, ask him. You can't. No offense, you can't say. He has to say. What does this show?
What does this show?
It shows the amount of people that where I'm from.
Speak up.
This shows how many people that were murdered and where I was from.
Cool. So that kind of illustrates your point. Was there more that you wanted to get to? Come talk to me for a quick second. Take 30 seconds. Ready?
Oh my God. That's a lot of people. Oh my God. So working here. That's a lot of evidence going to get on It's not mumbling. Wait, Bruce. So you believe that shit is dead, and I'm wondering, I can't wait to Wait, you guys are supposed to be a good great
What's the source?
Why are you going what is it? Wait, no, where was he? No, these guys are finding George Marshall's sword.
So, yeah, I think it's a good You guys can discuss that with each other, right? And then I'll keep I got you. Brother, you talking to me about it's not gonna help. I love you, I know, I'm aware of it. Here we go. Say that one more time, I'm so sorry, I didn't catch it.
We halted the Mongols event instead of using the Mongol
Okay. So Mongols were defeated, right?
Right.
Okay. So this would this weaken their empire?
After a big loss.
Objection. Beyond the scope, the witness wouldn't know if it was weakening the Mongols.
Yeah, sustained. You have like one more question? No further questions? Okay. Chance to cross-examine the witness.
I was the leader of the defense of the heavy
What is your religion to the Mongols?
I fought them during
So did you or did you not receive a letter from the Mongols?
I don't know.
You don't know? So according to evidence A, I would like to submit evidence A.
The jury on 7.2, or excuse me, 7.4. You scroll down underneath defense evidence A.
Can you clarify the information?
This would be just under 7.4.
Can you read this underlying part right here?
The judge's response to the letter was,
We want to do that.
and he responded by killing the two envoys who had delivered the message, placing their decapitated heads on spikes outside the entrance to the city.
So based on that, what did you do to the two envoys that gave you that letter?
Chopped their heads off.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so, did you need to kill those two envoys? Oh, wait, was it necessary to kill them? Did you have to kill those two envoys? Like, absolutely have to kill those two envoys? I mean, then why did you? Like, if you, so yes, if you said yes, then why would you need to? Then no, then why did you?
Speak louder, please.
And that the Mongols, even though they're basically
Okay.
we're not going to accept them.
Okay, so in the letter, what were the two options the Mongols gave you? The two options for either surrender to them or fight. Okay, so then in response to the letter, did you send troops to fight with the Mongols and go into battle with them rather than negotiating? And also in evidence evidence A in the very last sentence, it reads, Quezada eventually led an army through the Levant region to meet the Mongols on the battlefield. So, based on that, around how many people you say died in that battle? If you're not quite sure, can you pull up, I would like to submit evidence Q.
Okay, so scroll down to evidence Q.
That's not our point.
Are you objecting to relevance?
Yeah.
Okay, so stand up and object to relevance.
That's irrelevant. Why does it matter what he did? Evidently, it was not a very good administration decision to try to even submit to their rule. They have the option to fight you. They fought you, and guess what? They have to.
Okay, you're objecting to relevance. Chance to respond. Yes.
So he basically chose to kill thousands of his own people to fight with the Mongols, rather than he could just negotiate with them to just give them a chance, like they could actually benefit from being with the Mongols. But instead, he chose to send his people onto the battlefield to get them killed. He chose that. Right? But I think the Mongols also chose, because the Mongols, even if you say you want to fight, the Mongols did not actually fighting him, and the Mongols lost this war, which is a greater loss to them than it was to them. The Mongols lost to them.
So you're objecting to relevance of this information,
Yeah,
and you're suggesting that this information is relevant in that it illustrates that the massive casualties was a part of their own doing and a part of warfare. Gotcha. Okay. I will let the jury decide the relevance of that or not. Okay. So overruled for now. Any more questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait. Let me continue. So on evidence Q, on like that very bottom part, you can see it says losses Mongol mostly 20,000. Mamluk heavy losses of 20,000. 20,000. That's a lot. Just say.
Is there a question?
I'm still objecting to relevance to that. To say the Mongols lost 20,000 people, they both lost 20,000 people. The Mongols lost. How does this affect him? Like the Mongols both, maybe they both made a leadership decision on either side, but the Mongols still made a bad decision to try and fight them. What's your point? The reason the Mongols fought was so they could prove a point. And they always have a reason. The point was I'm not okay, so the point, they always had a point to fight. They wanted to expand and stuff. And that's what they tried to do with Qatar. And then so they sent them a letter to like ask if they would be willing to surrender or to fight. And if they would be able to surrender, then they would just keep on expanding, no deaths, barely any deaths, rather than 40,000 deaths compared. And then so that basically
All right. So again, you're trying to call to issue the relevance of this information. So we're going to move past this. You've illustrated from your perspective that you feel that these casualties are in part the fault of them and could have been avoided. You are calling it to the point that this is irrelevant information and that the Mongols.
They should have been deaths recorded if they ended up fighting. So why did they decide to try to get them? They have the right to defend themselves.
Okay, so again, I'll leave that up to the jury to kind of weigh that information as they need. Any further questions? No further questions? Okay, chance to redirect. Would you guys like to redirect?
Redirect, no redirect.
No redirect? Okay, so then you'll ask, may the witness please step down?
May the witness please step down.
All right, you may step down. What do we learn from Qatar? Hey! Hey!
I'm not being
So far, I feel like that argument was really shocking. I think they actually ended up
All right. Will the prosecution please call your next witness? Prosecution calls. Yes, stand up. The prosecution calls Mrs. Love III to the stand.
Prosecution calls Mrs. Long.
All right, Swearman.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You may be seated. All right, prosecution, you may begin.
I am also known as the Prince of Eve from 1223.
How did you come to know the Mongols?
My relationship with the Mongols was defined by conflict, particularly during the Mongol invasion of Eastern Europe.
How did the conflict between you and the Mongols begin?
They tried to take over my home place and they killed and took over my village.
How did this outcome affect any battle that you had with them?
The Battle of the Kalapa River on May 31st, 1243, on the banks of the Kalapa River in present day. How do I say that word?
Donetsk Oblast.
Donetsk Oblast, Ukraine, and ended in decisive Mongol victory. Around 60 to 90% of the Galician force.
Objection.
Objection.
What's your objection? Narrative. Just answer the questions as asked, please. Right? And then you can always say, and then what happened? And then what next? I just don't want the monologue. I want it to be a back and forth. Okay? So, you may continue.
Most importantly, is it possible the conflict between you and the Mongols is resolved?
Yes, the conflict of the Mongols has been prevented.
Please elaborate.
They started expanding west, and they found my village and started fighting with us.
Objection, Your Honor. Beyond the scope of the
Elaborate.
The witness wouldn't know which way they came into or any background relationship with this. He would just know that the Mongols came in and invaded.
This is where it gets hard. It's like,
Well, also, it doesn't matter why if they're moving west. All that matters is that they took over his, or not that they took over his. He started something that he couldn't finish. And them going west did not have anything to do with them not finishing what they started. So also relevant.
Say the question for me really quick.
The question is,
Yeah, what was your question?
most importantly, is it possible that the conflict between you and the Mongols could be ended?
Okay. Which I feel like you want to allow. But you want to allow it, right?
No, objection.
You don't want to allow that?
Well, they could have surrendered.
Jan Franklin to the pronounce for his business.
Oh, okay.
Jan Franklin to the pronounce for his business.
Objection withdrawn.
Withdrawn. Okay.
Wait, that's the question.
Could be, you said the question was,
Could the conflict between you and the Mongols have been prevented? I don't know.
okay, so could the conflict between you and the Mongols have been prevented? And you stated,
Yeah.
didn't you say something else other than that, though? Sorry.
The move west.
Yeah, they moved west to Calumet Village.
Okay, continue.
What attempts did you try to make in order to prevent the Mongols from further invading Russia?
I sought to confront the Mongols from fighting and also confronted them before making them more fit to the village, which led to the Battle of
Objection. You guys could have, that's not valid information.
I would probably just bring this up in your cross-examination. Yeah, that's how I would approach it.
What did the Mongols say after you did that?
Give me a minute.
What was the question?
Okay, make sure we're all staying a little bit louder. So your question was,
What did the Mongols retaliate with? Or, in other words, what did they do after you said that?
so you confronted them, and then what did the Mongols do?
Wait, what did you do to confront them? So,
Well, no, you said you confronted them, and then what did the Mongols do? Okay, let's take 1 minute, work with you with this. Ready? No, it's sure, work with him right now.
You're not doing it. No, it's saying that the Mongols yeah, and he tried to stop them from invading more. And they wanted and don't you think that they have bad administrators? They have
We're gonna take a 3-minute recess, get up to the ground, ready? Hey! You guys can get a drink. All right, here we go. We return to our prosecution. Reminder that you are under oath. So the whole truth, tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You may proceed.
After trying to prevent the war, what did the Mongols do? Just got something weird looks in the bathroom.
The jealous. Not good.
After leading the Mongols tried to invade, and the Mongols took over my village and killed about like 1,565 people.
All right, chance to cross-examine.
Well, these questions are great. You brought it. Great. You think great? Yes. Okay.
You may proceed, yes.
Okay. Who are you? I am the
The Mongols sent envoys to your empire, correct? Can you pull up evidence?
Evidence B.
B.
Okay, if jury, if you'll slide up to evidence.
B. Oh, B.
Oh, B, as in Violet.
Yes.
So sorry. So sorry.
I heard B too.
Thank you.
So I heard B.
Okay, V.
So, that basically says that,
Can you have him read what you need from that?
can you please read, can I walk up to this?
Yes, please.
Can you please read the first line, and so interpret it?
While the Russian forces were gathering and arrested of 6 Mongol envoys. What?
Accompanied.
Accompanied by 2 Muslim Christians.
Correct.
So, that's my evidence saying that the Mongols sent, envoys to your empire. So, that would be correct. And these envoys asked you to surrender, am I correct? Yes.
Correct.
That's correct.
Correct.
What was your initial response to the ultimatum given by the 6 envoys that arrived to talk to you? Let's read evidence B again. Let's see. You can read from Russian leaders to
The Russian leaders were not impressed by what they saw. Specifically, the Mongols were short of stature and their stocky torsos were supported by bow legs. As for their haughtiness, the Russians were greatly offended by it. Mongol ambassadors requested that the Russian princes.
Can I object to my information? So, like, how is this relevant? Like, a lot of this is because it's relevant to you. That's what I'm trying to make.
But them caring what they look like.
Okay, you ready?
Address me, not each other.
Okay, I need him to read the last sentence because it states what he does.
Okay, so begin with moreover.
Moreover.
Or I guess despite some of these princes. Sorry.
Yes, right here. Despite protest.
Despite protests by some of the princes, Mislav, my last name, ordered the 6 Mongols executed.
So would you say, so that was your initial response to the ultimatum? That answers my question. So, did you not execute all 6 envoys because of your personal opinion on how they look?
No.
Objection.
Objection. He said they were executed due to thinking they were spies, not because they were.
And spies, and the Russian leaders were not impressed by what they saw. Specifically, the Mongols were short of stature, and their stocky torsos were supported by bow legs.
But how do you know that's all the evidence? That's just one thing that said. You could Yeah, ulterior motives that you don't know about. You can't ask. This might not be the whole truth.
All right. Sustained culture speculation, but yeah, move on, please.
So wouldn't you say that is a barbaric or at least cruel thing to do, considering it was not necessary?
Anything? No? Okay. You sure?
Let me move on to my next point.
No one objects? Okay.
The last one.
No, that question, yeah.
Would you say that is a barbaric or at least cruel thing to do, considering it wasn't necessary? Speculation. How these actually famous probably was. Thought. But that's his thoughts. He's the one that executed them.
Address me, not each other.
He's the one that executed them, so therefore it wouldn't not be speculation when he would think that what he did was cruel, because he was the one that ordered them to be executed. So it's not him thinking about how other people were barbaric by that. It was his own thoughts, therefore not speculation.
All right, I'll allow it.
Okay, so would you like to have a chance to answer that question? Or we can move on.
Sure. So if I ordered to kill them by how they look, it could be in between if I didn't want to have a thing with them, or if I just didn't see them as what they would think they would want to be. I don't know how
Can you put that in words? That really did like that really did form a sentence that can get across to the jury.
It said that I ordered to kill them because
They're looking.
yeah, because of their looks and we thought that they were spies.
All right, let's move on.
On the run. Because you didn't surrender, there was a war, right? Correct. Okay. Can you say that in yes, please? Oh, yes. Okay. I would like it if you said yes or no to these questions in words instead of a headshake, please.
Damn.
Okay. So many people were killed in that war. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the prosecution has pointed to all those killings as the barbaric acts taken by the Mongols. Is that right?
Yeah.
Please say the answer. Okay. So, but had you surrendered, there wouldn't have been a war, correct? But if you surrender, there is no war because they would have taken over your land.
Objection. Well, you never know what could happen. Or just speculation.
You never know what could happen. Okay, but there would have been that war.
Or something else.
Okay, can I rephrase it?
Rephrase it.
So, had you surrendered, there wouldn't have been that war about that certain subject. Okay. And had there not been a war, then no one would have been killed in that war, correct? Well, still, you can't. You never know what would happen. But in that war, if it hadn't happened.
Sustained culture speculation. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Right, that's why you have to read it. Here we go. The defense may continue. Please return to your seats. You may continue.
I'm going to move on from that point because we have a disagreement. So you would agree with me then that the only reason you said occurred was because of the war.
Chance to rephrase the question. Maybe said, but you just stated.
But you just stated that all those wars were caused, that those deaths were caused by war. So therefore, this question is the exact same one, just rephrased. So the answer that you already stated shall be yes.
I'm so sorry for me.
So let me again. So you would agree with me then that the only reason these deaths occurred was because of that war, correct? Yes. Okay. And therefore you would also agree with me that the Mongols' intent in killing your people was to win said war, as you have already stated. No.
You have one last question.
And do you have any evidence to support the fact that the Mongols' intent was anything other to win the war? No. And if you did, that would have been speculation. No further questions. Here.
Okay.
They asked him to surrender. They asked you to surrender. Correct? Okay. They asked you. You said you have the right to defend your own country. Correct? Yes. The Mongols go into your country and kill everybody. They are killing more people than necessary. Yes, but they started a war.
This is a question.
Yes.
Making a question. Okay.
Could the Mongols have beaten your empire with different military tactics that didn't include killing? Objection. Speculation. They don't know for sure what would have happened, like you said before. You said.
Address me. Address me. I'm feeling combativeness between the two of you. If we need to, we will deal with this. Understood? Okay.
He would not have known what would have happened, and if they could have. So that question is not real. It's not real, but like it's
speculative.
It's speculative.
Okay. Sustained. Any further questions?
No further questions.
Then you ask me the witness please step down. You may step down. Tell me your group what we learned from Mrs. Love. Ready? Prosecution, please call your final witness to the stand. Yeah, we call.
Lucius to the stand. Do not say it. Why are you not prepared?
Quite good. Quite good.
Order, order.
You were so nice.
Alright, again, we need to stay locked in, folks. Here we go. Yes, you may proceed.
Could you please state your full name and jury? Could you please state your full name and position for the jury and the judge? Well, Mr. Sin, the last Aztec Caliphate of Baghdad. I was the leader of the Aztec Caliphate, a Muslim empire spanning from northern Africa to the Middle East. So, what's the job of the Caliphate of Baghdad? The ruler of the Aztec Caliphate and Islamic empire during the time of the Mongols. Okay. What was your relation to the Mongols? My entire empire was brutally slaughtered by the Mongols. Did you have, oh, sorry. Did they ask for you to surrender? If so, what was your response?
I was asked to commit to Mongols war, but I just could not give up my empire to the
How objection, she gave up her empire to them either way because
she's not
objecting.
objecting.
She's not going
Again, if you have counter information, bring that up in your cross-examination. Okay? You may continue.
How would you describe the Mongols' approach to warfare based on your experience and observations from the sack of Baghdad and other military conquests that you were a part of in relation to the Mongols? They were brutal.
Sure. Say that question one more time. That was a mouthful.
Okay.
I lost track. I'm so
How would you describe the Mongols' approach to warfare based on your own experiences and other observations you had from other experiences with the Mongols and other types of warfare?
They were. Can you ask one question at a time? That question's like kind of loaded and it's just long. One question.
compound question, sustained. So, but you're providing qualifiers, right? Which then would be a leading question. So, just ask the question as at the very beginning. Just
How would you describe the Mongols' approach to warfare based on your
no, just how would you describe the Mongols' approach to warfare?
Okay.
Keep it there, right? Go ahead.
They were brutal. They killed almost my entire population and slaughtered innocent people with no relation to the war.
objection? Can you provide evidence
Yeah.
to show that they
Yes,
killed
we can.
almost all of your empire?
I
I would like to submit document 4 from the in-class evidence, please.
Okay, so in-class evidence. I think we pulled this up previously, right?
Yes, document 4. We already did it, but we'd like to do it.
Yep.
So, could we please look at the sack of Baghdad, forts in Persia, in the year 1258? Could you please look at the reported deaths? Could you please read those out to me?
In Baghdad, there was, in 1258, there was from anywhere from 800,000 to 2 million reported deaths.
Can we acknowledge that that's pretty much the whole entire population of Baghdad at the time? So yes, they did kill everybody in the city, slaughtered more people than the heavy. Objection, can you give us
Objection, can you give us evidence to show how many people or how much was your population at that time? Because we don't have any evidence to show that was
So again, if you have counter information or you want to counter a point, that would be in your cross-examination. You should just be objecting to the questions. If you feel that their information is invalid, bring that up in your cross-examination. Okay? You may proceed.
what was the extent of all the damage in the Baghdad Mongols, not just the deaths, but everything else?
My whole entire city was destroyed down to the ground. All of them were buildings and temples were completely ruined. Not even on the military, but my people were brutally slaughtered.
Is it true that, per sources say, that all of many hundreds of years of Islamic documents that were famous literature at the time were thrown into the Tigris River after that?
Object.
Objection?
Sorry.
You're leading on the witness. Is it true? No.
Don't say is it true. That's a leading question.
Can we submit more evidence
Sure.
from
Yes,
evidence
you can.
number
Yeah.
1?
Does that make sense? You can't say is it true. That's clearly a leading question.
Could we go to scholar Atafale Giovanni?
Where is this? Is
Let's
this?
put in 7.4 evidence, our own constitution evidence.
Thank you. Okay, so on the evidence document 7.4, underneath the prosecution.
I'm just trying to get the exact spot.
Yeah, which one underneath the
I'm
prosecution?
getting it.
Is this from the videos that we're talking about? Or-
No.
No? Peaks or peaks or?
That one. Wait, no. Yeah.
That was not about.
Okay. We're not submitting this evidence.
No? Okay.
Okay, sorry, I was. Okay, here we go. So, Rigo, how were you personally executed by the Mongols at the end of your writing of Rigo?
I was rolled up in a carpet, and I was rolled up in a carpet, and there were horses trampled on me until eventually leading to my death.
Does this way of execution that would happen to you illustrate the whole entire approach that the Mongols showed in your experiences?
I witnessed my people slaughtered inhumanely and for no reason at all. This is like my execution because it was not necessary.
Objection, speculation. You don't know how what reasons. Do you have evidence to support that the Mongols had no reason?
I don't know yet.
Because then she can't be saying that they had no reason because you don't have evidence. Because you don't have the evidence saying that the Mongols had no reason because they did. Well, which I will address in my counter. But my evidence.
Okay, so then say that for your counter argument, right?
Our evidence that there is no reason. They don't need to kill every single person in the city to take it.
Again, if you keep calling them to give you evidence, he's going to keep pulling up evidence. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Justin,
that's me! Oh my god, y'all! Ah! Gee. I feel left out. Yeah. So then just object to call for speculation, right?
Objection, speculation to they don't know the Mongols stuff.
There you go. Okay. Sustain. Okay. You may proceed.
No further questions.
Okay. Chance to cross-examine the witness. You may proceed.
Do you need any of these? No. Okay, so who are you?
I'm almost the same in the last father. Hey, what's your relationship with Mongols? They brutally slaughtered entire population. So, hypothetically, if I gave you many options, you would be responsible for the choice that you made, correct? What choice are you making? So basically, if I were to say, if you want one thing or the other, and you chose one thing, would you be responsible for the choice that you made?
Objection, speculation.
Speculation of what? That doesn't mean all.
Order. I'm done. Stop addressing each other. I've asked multiple times. Okay? This is a courtroom and will be heard as a courtroom. If you have an issue, address it with me.
Objection.
Yes.
That's not speculation because there's nothing to speculate. Well,
So it is a speculative question, but you're trying to establish foundation, I assume.
Yes.
I will allow you to proceed to establish this foundation, make sure it connects.
Yes. So if I were to give you many options, you would be responsible for the choice that you made, correct? Okay. Did Elijah Khan send you a letter or a message? Yes. In this message, did he give you options for the sake of Baghdad? Yeah, I think they're right there. Yeah. Yes. And would you say that your advisors are there to speak for the best interest of the people? Yes. But didn't you disagree with your advisors when they told you not to rebel against Baghdad? Against the Mongols? Yes. Okay. And in the end, you lost the trial with the Mongols, correct? Okay. And did this war cause many deaths on both sides? Maybe one. Yes. And would there be any war deaths if there was never a war in the first place?
Objection. We will call for speculation there because you would not actually know if there would be deaths or any other warfare in other contexts.
Yeah, sustain. Call for speculation.
Okay. So, did this war cause many deaths? Okay. And, if there was no war, would...
Objection.
You let me finish?
But if there was no war, it feels like it's going to be a speculative question.
We have objection. The same point I made earlier. If there's no war, there can't be any deaths from said war. It's just like a fact. Like
But-
from our objection is not, if there is no war, how would they know if there's something going to happen or not? There could be other deaths that are not accounted for without a war. You don't know what it could change.
Alright, so point has been established that this war caused deaths. I think the jury then can kind of.
And the question, the thing that objected to was if there was any deaths. But I asked if there would be any war deaths from this war. So he said, who knows if there wasn't a war.
But still, if there was no war, it becomes a speculative question. I get your logic and the reasoning. Again, the jury can kind of render that decision, but we've established that. Move on.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that you were rebelling against the Mongols, which then caused this big war, which could have been prevented. And this war caused a great uprising, which killed many. And as you said earlier, you are responsible for the choices that you make. So, your decision to go into battle with the Mongols resulted in the fall of your own civilization. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, chance to redirect.
Okay, we're gonna redirect the Mongols. You have
All Mississippi.
Oh, sorry. You have the right to you have the right to not give up your. You have the right to fight and not give up your own right. How many people are killed? Is it only your fault? No. How many people are killed is the fault of whoever killed them. Is that correct? Yes. If you but they also chose to kill the Mongols. Because they chose to kill.
Can you rephrase the question?
The Mongols were the ones who killed Amusus's people. Maybe some of her actions.
Is this a question? Just say correct.
Oh.
Okay, so the Mongols are the ones who killed your people, correct? Correct.
Any decisions you make can be taken where the Mongols can take your decisions however they want to. Is that correct? Yes. So that means if you made a decision that you want to fight them, it's not how many people they killed is not fully effective to you because they choose to kill how many people they want to kill. Al-Musasin also chose to go against their orders, and if they didn't, then they chose to kill us just as much as the Mongols did, and it doesn't matter how many the other people killed.
So I would rephrase your question slightly differently. I feel like you put words in the mouth of the witness. All right. So at that time, we will end our redirect. Todd, we have now prosecution. Do you have any further? Sorry, ask her.
Oh, our witness
May the witness step down. You may step down. Do you have any further witnesses?
No.
Prosecution rests.
What?
Prosecution rests.
Prosecution rest.
All right. At this time, we have concluded the prosecution. We'll take a 1-minute recess. Great.
He ends up making it rational. Deal with but so was war.
You guys doing okay over here, by the way?
Yeah, I know there was a really important argument that the defense just missed.
Alright, here we go. Defense. We're going to begin with your witnesses. Will you please call?
Excuse me, Malia Estep to the front office for dismissal. Malia Estep to the front office for dismissal.
Stealing God! Will you please call your first witness to the stand?
I called Prince Ivan to stand.
Oh, wow. Done.
Oh, yes, it's not.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth? Oh,
Yes, you may proceed.
Who are you? I'm Prince Ivan.
Speak loud.
Can you say that louder? I'm Prince Ivan from Moscow. What areas did you have control over? I had control over Moscow. And what would you say your relationship with the Mongols was? We were a tribute state, and for the Mongols, and we collected taxes. How did you become said tribute state? Can you say that louder? Your response, please. Yeah, sure. It is a state of subordinate to a more powerful neighboring state. So, am I correct to say that the Mongols gave you a choice, just like our other witnesses? They gave you a letter saying to surrender and become our tribute state before we go to war.
Objection.
Objection. Could you repeat your name, so
No, objection. Leading question. You're providing narrative. Ask the witness to provide that context.
So,
Let me check.
So did the Mongols come and give you a letter? Yeah, they gave me a letter giving me the And what did you think? So, and why did you join forces with the Mongols? I joined forces with the Mongols by becoming a true state because I knew that it would be mutually beneficial for me to come and my I joined forces with the Mongols by becoming a free state because I knew that it would be mutually beneficial for Genghis Khan and my So, in your words, you would say that you benefited from the alliance or surrendering to the Mongols. Or you?
I thought they were going to object to that.
Why would they object?
Because it's a leading question.
I just said,
So you feel like you're looping? You felt like you were looping his answer? Yeah. So looping means you're just restating what he said?
I'm restating so that the point can get across.
Gotcha. My apologies.
That's why I think they didn't. Yeah.
My bad.
So I'm gonna repeat my question.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little lost. So you would say you benefited from the alliance with the Mongols. So can you restate how you benefited from said alliance? It helped like our country and Moscow and some like Polish stuff. Can you please speak up and elaborate? How would you say you benefited from the alliance? I benefited from the alliance by letting the Golden Lord in Moscow. I collected taxes for the Golden Lord, which was required. And it caused them to give me a lot of respect. So I had all the taxes and which helped Moscow become And would you say that if other empires surrendered, that they would have been in a similar predicament as yourself? Yes, because there was some speculation. We object to that. We believe that, how would you know what would happen to other countries?
Sustain.
So, What you're saying is that if other empires would have surrendered, they would have been, in simple terms, successful like yourself.
Objection. You never answered the last question, which was called for speculation.
Sustain.
So you would say you benefited from this. I'm gonna restate what you said, if that's all right. Okay. So you said that you benefited from surrendering to them. They got your land, and in return, you helped them, and they helped you, and you got the nickname Moneybags, as I can see here. You now look very rich and very successful.
Yeah, this is narrative. Is this a question?
No.
Okay, all right. Any further questions?
No further questions.
Okay. Chance to cross-examine the witness?
Please state your name for the jury.
I think we Randy Moscow.
Okay, can you please explain what the Randy Moscow is and what?
So you're the ruler of Moscow, correct? Okay. Is there anything specifically that you wanted him to say there? And just tell him and then say correct.
No, I was just.
Perfect. Yep. Continue.
Okay, so, what was your relationship? We were like, we were like the actual. Yeah, could you repeat that in detail?
So, allies and Golden Horde come into Moscow, and we would collect tax for the Golden Horde.
Okay, so you align with the Mongols, correct? Do you see any benefit in aligning with the Mongols?
Yes.
Could you elaborate?
It helps Moscow become like a rich and powerful nation.
Okay. So, is it true that some sources call you a traitor to your own people?
Objection, the other scope. And what sources?
We don't know about any sources. We have sources.
You guys like submit evidence?
Just go to evidence.
Yeah. Evidence document underneath prosecution. What am I looking at here?
I've included the information.
I've included information.
It's right under the.
Sorry, in the block there. Okay. Okay. Could you have him read this, please?
Okay.
Have the witness read that right there.
Okay.
Is that what you're wanting?
No. The link.
Oh, you do need.
No, that's what we should do. That's what we should do. Just have him read that.
Okay.
Have him read that.
All races of the Okay. Could you read this highlighted section?
Some researchers consider the French a traitor to the people and no
Mm-hmm.
servant of the Golden Horde and colony.
Will you?
Objection. That's kind of like an opinion source because it says some researchers consider, and that's not really a viable. Can we also see what sources came from?
Is that from this link?
Yeah.
That's from this link. So yeah, so you guys can click on that and you should be able to.
Get on for a while.
So some researchers consider this branch a traitor. So you're, again, in your redirect, maybe you can bring that back. Okay? So Attorney Mishko, we'll continue, we're fine. Attorney Mishko, what follow-up question do you have for the prince? You have 1 minute, right?
I don't think
Can I go get a drink of water real quick?
Yeah, if you need to get a quick drink, go get a quick drink. I hope when we get through all the witnesses, we'll get the closing argument. We want this is our last thing, right? We are back. All right. Will we continue with our cross-examining? Yes, question.
Our history is running out of power on
I'm out of them. All right, here we go. Attorney Mishpa, you may continue.
Okay, so, you are very rich due to the partnership with the Mongols, correct? And you partnered with the Mongols to gain wealth, correct? Is it true that you stated in your disclosure that you didn't support their tactics, the Mongols used before? We think otherwise because it says here that you may not have supported the legal tactics the Mongols used in the initial process. And that was you. So,
So again, now it's in the witness files. I pulled it up, but for time's sake, we're just gonna.
He has it. I printed it out.
It's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going with it. Okay, so you didn't support all the brutal tactics, correct? Correct. Again, speak up loudly, Grace.
So it seems that you only care about wealth and power with this partnership, and not about the true intentions of the Mongols. Correct?
Objection, reading on the witness. You can
I think he's putting words in your witness's mouth. Right. I guess I'll let you answer it. Chance to respond to that.
So it seems that you only cared about wealth and power with this partnership, and not about the true intentions of the Mongols.
Let me answer. How would you respond to that?
Yes, that's fair. She was a real friend. But I feel like that is less of a question.
on the jury and witnesses, you should be on day 2 now for the defense witnesses. Sorry, there is no day 2 anymore. It's all day 1. Defense, will you please call your next witness to the stand?
We would like to call Marco Polo.
Marco Polo. You may proceed.
Okay, so who are you? I'm Marco Polo, and I'm from the state of Venice, and I'm best known for my extensive travel throughout Asia and my famous work, The Travels of Mongols Trial. Okay, so what did you do while you were traveling throughout Asia? I was a diplomat in the court of Kublai Khan, and I went on numerous administrative missions while observing several things about the Mongol Empire. Okay, so you're in the court of Kublai Khan.
Were you just going to object the narrative? Yeah, it's fine. I'm allowing it. Try and make it shorter answers back and forth. Okay, you can always ask for elaboration. Continue.
Does that mean like you had a relationship with the Mongols? Yeah. Okay, so when did your relationship with the Mongols begin? About 17 years ago. Okay, so what was your role in the conflict? So I became a diplomat, and I went on multiple administrative missions, as I stated earlier, and this is how I was able to see so much about overall how they ran things. What did you observe about the Mongols in your 70s? They have a really organized government and military. They also had strict but very necessary. And then more specifically about Kublai Khan, what did you observe his, what would you describe his rule as? So he appointed people based on their abilities rather than their backgrounds or beliefs. Mm-hmm. Okay. And yeah, I was really impressed with their governance of China. So you talk about the famous work, The Travels of Marco Polo. What is this book about? What did you write? It tells accounts of the Mongol Empire under Kublai Khan. So some of the key things that you wrote in your The Travels of Marco Polo, would like to bring that.
Okay. Now, which evidence is this? Sorry.
Additional evidence. Additional evidence should be on 12.
Additional on page 12.
Hang on. That one. Here you are.
This one?
Yes, book 2, chapter 1. Could you please read that, please? And all of the provinces of his past dominions, and foresight are so effective that the travelers may go through them without the smallest cause for fear, whether by day or by night. So, what do you feel like? What were you trying to get across when you were saying it? Got a very stable and strong government, and the North States are careful and effective. So you would say we had effective administration? Yes. No good.
All right. Chance to cross-examine the witness.
So what's your relationship with Mongols? I worked with Kublai Khan for 17 years. Is it true that you documented the barbaric acts of warfare to the Kublai Khan? Objection. How do I say you put words in that? Like to keep leading? But you said, is it true? And then state it. Well,
But this is cross-examination, so you can leave the witness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Continue.
Is it true that you documented many barbaric acts of warfare during the Kublai Khan? Yes. Did you describe in great detail the widespread destruction of population decimated in the entire cities and rooms? Yeah. No further questions.
All right. Thank you. Chance to cross-examine the witness.
You mean?
Sorry, redirect. My apologies. Redirect. Sorry.
Okay, so. Wrong page. I'm sorry. All right, so in your famous work, you said, please, can I talk about what they said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in your
in your favorite verse, the Travels of Marco Polo, you, as they said as well, you said that you were talking about this seriousness that they had during warfare and so would you say, how would you describe this? Like, I'd say it was very necessary for the amount of land and people they controlled. And so the strictness part of it is like how when a teacher with a large and more out of control class would be stricter with the class, like how they'll take USM or something here.
And what are
Just
your
yeah,
thoughts on that? So she's not really answering the question. She was asking if, like, how she's asking if it's true that if it was necessary for the decimation of cities. Now you're not answering the question. She did answer it.
So I will allow it's weird because you're Marco Polo. What are these EOS points you speak of? But I get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah. So you're Well, it's fine. Well, I think the point is it's taken. So you felt that it was necessary. Okay.
And then, again, what would you describe life on Blue Line? About effective. Could you elaborate on effective? He was able to keep the people in line, and they were able to conquer different areas.
I have an objection. I don't think that's true. That
I think he we have evidence that yet
Well,
like conflict.
bring that up when you question Kublai Khan.
Okay.
Is that fair? Yeah. Because we're seeing this as an expert witness, and so they're providing their kind of perspective on it, and then you guys should present opposing evidence. Final question.
So you said they had ineffective. I mean, they had effective administration, and they had reasoning for their actions. Yeah, correct. No further questions.
Thank you. The witness may step down. What do we learn from Marco Polo? Hey!
You better look into the dates of that. I don't even know if you're guilty.
Closing out Friday, Monday. Please call your next witness.
We would like to call
All right, you may proceed.
My name is Susan Collins, and I'm the startup guru at the very center of So this is the title of Great Con, correct? And what was your main focus when you were the ruler of the eastern part of the empire?
The main focus was on withholding Mongol rule over China.
So while being the emperor of Mongols, were you also a Chinese emperor?
Yes, I was the first non-Chinese emperor to rule all of China.
How did you even become such a thing? The first ever emperor of all of China?
I did not become the emperor of China by taking control over the Song Dynasty.
How are you able to take control of the Song Dynasty?
I was able to take control over the Song Dynasty because of the Mongol military force and strategy and advanced weapons.
What were some of these so-called advanced weapons you talked about?
These long-range arrows, different weapons such as catapults, palisade, revolutionary artillery, and even rockets to use
How is this relevant to
establishing
The basic foundation, it basically shows how the Mongols would like win all these wars because they were considered barbaric. But really, most people view them as that because they would win so many wars and like use these advanced methods and like show them as barbaric and like crazy because they used like so many methods.
Okay, I'll allow you may proceed.
What were also some of your military strategies you used in the war?
Every demonstration being a frightened retreat and solid warfare.
And what were some of the things you did once you entered out of China?
One thing I did when I was emperor was establish the unity of China. I also did things like change travel for the better.
How were you able to change travel for the better?
Well, I reestablished the Silk Road, which resulted in China becoming a lot safer for everyone since the Mongols took over.
Can you elaborate a little more on how you made China safer?
Well, an example is that European merchants like Marco Polo made their way from Europe to China, and the well-maintained and well-traveled roads and like Mongolia to China because of the Mongols.
So you're saying that you basically made China safer and kind of better, right?
All right, thank you. Chance to cross-examine.
How would you know about Chinese culture and media?
Okay, just break that up, right? You're doing two things. So just start off that first part and just say correct.
You said you're the first modern Chinese culture in Lower China.
Correct.
How would you know about
Objection?
Yeah.
Add a little foundation.
Yeah, he's just simply restating what you had already established, correct?
what
Okay. You're the first non-Chinese emperor over China, right?
Correct.
Which you had already stated, correct? Yeah. You may proceed.
How would you know about Chinese culture and be effective here if you have no Chinese roots?
I'm not sure.
Another question is it true that you have extremely questionable and unethical methods of punishing people by burying them head first and in the ground?
No.
You got submit evidence to the contrary.
You can't lie.
Right. Attorney Kasango, you want to submit evidence, I assume? Document 5. Document 5. Document 5 in the in-class contents.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
We're kidding.
Okay, so then have him read this description. Have him read this description. Circa 1300, showing.
Showing the execution for a prisoner by a Mongolian soldier. Others are being buried upside down alive.
Okay, objection. What does this not state?
That could like honor was responsible for this.
Yeah, do we have another piece of evidence?
Because this is the time when they ruled over China and then the Mongols ruled over China and this is
Objection. That you don't have proof that Kublai Khan allowed this to be in general or someone else. You have no proof.
well, we're saying that
Rephrase your question.
my question was, is it true that you had extremely questionable and
Yeah, but I'm asking you to rephrase it.
in other words, would you say that you bury people head first?
No, objection sustained. You can't say that, right? What is this? This does not say that about Kublai Khan. It says it about what? So, is it true that some Mongol leaders did brutal things such as burying prisoners at first?
Yes.
Correct? Correct. Does that make sense?
Soldier.
Can't.
A soldier.
A Mongol,
Soldier.
okay, a Mongol soldier, excuse me, my apologies. You have 30 seconds. Hey!
Well, they didn't say it's the case. Yeah, I want to read the fourth
Alright, James, Sandra, you can go ahead. These people being, do you, okay, so you, are you the leader of the Mongol military?
Yes.
Okay. So therefore you control the soldiers, correct?
Yes.
Is it correct that you address certain rebellious groups of conquered people on punishment and unethical and merciless ways? Is it correct that you address certain rebellious groups of conquered people on punishment and unethical people? Conquered groups.
So rebellious groups, and you treated them in unethical ways. Are you going to submit evidence for this?
Submit evidence for showing that they did this for rebellious groups. Yeah, it's on here. I'm just saying. Yep, I have. I can't find it.
Is this the in-class documents?
Yeah. Just don't submit evidence. We're not going to submit evidence.
Okay. Next question. Well, I mean, I assume you're going to say, did you treat these rebellious people brutally?
No. Yes. Yes.
But you got to rationalize it from your perspective, right? So you're going to say what? Provide some rationale. He's leaving it open-ended, so you need to provide rationale. Do you understand?
No.
Okay. So you're going to, of course, elaborate it from your perspective and say, my job as the leader of the Mongolian Empire was to establish order and to maintain peace in my land. I did that effectively to the promotion of the GAM system, of the Pax Mongolica, blah, 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 right? So you're going to wax poetic about all of that. If he's not going to submit evidence that suggests you did all these terrible things, then you're going to dissipate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, but you said, yes, you did treat them harshly. You did. Proceed.
Another question is it correct that when people, your soldiers were in battle, if they either decide to go away, run away, or to treat a body of the fellow soldier who has been killed, is it correct that you punish them by killing them?
Submit evidence, documents. Sue, thank you. Kubla, please read this.
When they are in battle, if one or two or three or even more out of a group of 10 run away, all are put to death.
Okay, we'll stop there. You get the point. Okay, you may proceed. Okay, chance for redirect.
So, in the same document, when they are saying all this stuff, let me get a question. So,
is it true that you wanted the rest of your empire?
Yes.
So, did you think that being strict with your people will make them, hold on, let me rephrase it. So, with these rules, such as like if one person in this people out of 10, one person runs away, and then the rest get killed because if by doing that that established order and that helped them in battle. Like
That established order, correct?
Correct.
That helped them in battle, correct?
Correct.
Smaller chunk.
So that helps you win wars, correct? Correct.
Thank you. The witness may step down. What do we learn from Kublai Khan? Hey! All right, will the defense please call your final witness to the stand? It's gone. It's Genghis. I don't know what that is. Did not seem very Genghis.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I do. You may have a seat.
Okay, so who are you?
My name is Genghis Khan, also known as Khan. I'm the founder and ruler of the Mongols Trial.
Many people are aware that you expanded into many different countries and areas. Where exactly did you expand into?
I expanded mostly into northern China, Central Asia, and Russia.
What inspired you to be such a great and powerful leader?
Whenever I was younger, my dad was poisoned and killed by an enemy clan, and thus, our clan got fearful of us, so kicked us out. And this made me want to make a strong empire, and it also made me resilient.
You're known for your great military tactics and skills. So I would like to dive into that. Almost every single article or source that I've seen talks about your innovative military tactics. For example, evidence O.
So you're submitting evidence? Okay.
Confidence.
So evidence O.
So just the highlighted part. So would you mind reading that?
Its army was highly developed, disciplined, and wielded its traditional structures alongside adopted ways of war to overwhelming effect. Far from being disorganized mob marauders, the Mongol Empire intelligently planned and organized each campaign and maintained a strict balance between obedient yet autonomous generals.
Yes. So what were the steps that you took when you wanted to conquer an area?
He would be polite and ask them that they would have two choices to either surrender or.
So did you send a message or a letter to every who wants to conquer? Okay. And how do you think these battles went for the Mongolian Empire?
Well, most of the time we won because they either surrendered because they heard about us before, or we won because we had to.
So according to document 1 from inside, so
Do you want the map or the chart?
the conquest. So would you mind reading how many square miles we conquered in this one time?
4,860,000.
4,860,000 square miles.
In just your lifetime. So did your conquering of these countries provide any benefits for the areas that you expanded into?
Yes, it did, such as Moscow and Russia.
So you changed negative back to precisely? Okay. As the great leader of the Mongolian Empire, did you embody any government rules or policies?
Yes, we did, such as the Yapa system and the civil service exam.
And what did these provide?
Well, the Yapa system maintained law and order into the Mongolian Empire, and the civil service exam basically helped everybody with their jobs, determining who would get what job based on their strength.
Were there any other heroic actions that you were involved in?
Yes, such as inventing a new things like rockets, catapults, and hospital, and basically helping and ensuring the world road is safe.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Chance to cross-examine.
You are Genghis Khan, correct? Is it true that you conquered land from China all the way out to the Caspian Sea? So you had control of many different cultures and nationalities all across the space, is that correct? Is it true that your complex in leadership of having so much land result in the alienation of a multitude of cultures, having so much land, so many different cultures, you can't include everybody together in your cultures, is that correct?
That's a double question. Because I just split it in half.
Yeah, break it
Having
down.
so much land, did that negatively affect your people? Because they
Does that negatively affect your people?
well, if you have having so much land, no, with so many different cultures, could you include every single one to be inclusive of everyone? Well, we have,
Have it?
yeah,
No?
evidence.
Yes. Okay.
Evidence that you do not. From, I think, the witness bias.
Witness bias, okay?
Yeah.
What's the fact?
I have to get some of that.
Which witness file? The Genghis Khan? Okay, what do you?
And
Alright, so we have from the witness file, this is the Kubla Khan witness file. Can you have him read this?
yeah, could you read the part where you say,
Read the highlighted, please.
the highlight?
However, Kublai Khan faced challenges in maintaining control over his vast empire. His policies of integrating Chinese and Mongol practices alienated both the Chinese population and traditional Mongolian elites, creating internal tensions.
So, again, honor that Kublai Khan, not Genghis Khan. We know there's Kublai Khan, but Genghis Khan's actions by creating such a big empire proves that we're putting how big the empire is. It's just that we have specific evidence under Kublai's rule from the effects of it.
Now, sustained, I would want information about Genghis Khan and his conquest. It's being speculative to suggest that his actions directly lead to actions of
Okay, so your campaign against the I don't know what's on
Yeah, quickly and confidently.
the Armenian Empire is infamous for its brutality, including leveling of cities and killing the entire population. With such amount of casualties,
I don't know.
okay, can we please,
Page 9 of what?
page 9 of the encyclopedia.
Yo, guys, don't. Okay, yeah, page 9. I mean,
Yeah, it's under right there. So, here we go. So, this, due to your influence in the Khazar Empire, we have reported deaths. Could you read out?
sorry, you want to
Yeah. Could you please read the one with the top 5 reported deaths in each place of Khazar Empire?
In Kara, how many?
30,000.
Samarkand, how many?
30,000.
4.
1,747,000.
Karat.
1,600,000.
Do you think this was necessary to like over 3 million people? Why?
To expand our empire.
You could have done this without killing every single person in a city.
Objection, we don't know if it's every single person.
Well, it's pretty much.
Do you know the population of these places?
They're about. It's pretty.
So, beyond the scope. Okay, yeah.
30 seconds.
You have 15 seconds. Ready?
That's the target.
But you didn't open questions. Here we go.
We would like to submit evidence from our evidence document.
Okay. Evidence document. What's the evidence?
It is under 7.4 evidence under our defense. It is scholar Atamali Giovanni. No, it's just the. Okay. So, according to this scholar, where did you go? According to this scholar, you ordered 50,000 Mongol soldiers, all to kill 24 citizens beyond a city in the Khazar Empire. This would amount to killing 1.2 million people. Do you believe? Is this true?
Yes.
Thank you.
Alright, chance to redirect.
I have one more.
No, chance to redirect.
Yes. Wait, question.
Okay. So, did you give everywhere that you were about to conquer an auction?
Yes.
Okay. And, so, did you do in the war what was necessary to win that? No further questions.
Alright, witness may step down. We will hear closing arguments on Monday. We got so much to do. Every next time. Are you ready? Let's do this. Each other get the game, please. Say bye to YouTube. Bye YouTube. I love you very much.